everybody. Welcome to Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric Hobbs.
And I'm David Woolnican.
And today we're going to preview the St. Louis Blues versus Colorado Avalanche in the second round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook and Instagram. So, David, the Blues, they beat Minnesota into the second round of the playoffs, and their reward, Colorado Avalanche, powerhouse of the Western Conference the last few years, and the top seed in this year's playoffs in the Western Conference.
This brings back that superb, NHL playoff format that you love so much, Eric. I will say, though, this matchup is going to be a good. I really do think this matchup is a pretty good matchup for the Blues. I think they can handle the Avalanche. I think it's going to be tough, but foreshadowing a little bit with my picks, I do think they have a good chance in this series with their depth, not only with their forwards, but since they finished in 6 games, it gave them a little time to rest and get our defensemen healthy too. So we're going to, other than Torrey Krug, have a full roster pretty much ready to go. And unfortunately for Krug, I don't know if he's going to be back at all because, he took a vicious knee-to-knee hit during the one of the games.
Yeah, head coach Craig Berube said that Krug would be out for some time. That's really what we're working with. It'd be a bonus to get him back at this point. I think you have to look at it that way. For the Blues, they went 1-2 against Colorado in the regular season. And looking at how they beat Minnesota and how they can beat Colorado, for me, it begins with the power play. The Blues, we know they're a good power play unit, second best in the NHL in the regular season. About 30%, I think it was, in the first round against Minnesota on give or take 25 opportunities. I'm just going off the top of my head with those numbers, so I know I'm close. That has to happen in the Colorado series. Colorado's penalty kill, not that great. 15th in the NHL, 79%. That's beatable. So if the Blues can draw some penalties, get power play opportunities, that's going to be huge in helping their chances in this series.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting on that side of the game because both teams are very skilled offensively. And as the games go on, you're going to see some tired legs. So you're going to see things like holding, interference calls, maybe even a slash or a hook here and there just because they get beat and they're trying to slow down the opponent. And this goes for both teams. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it's going to be called because usually playoff games are more loosely called.
Yeah, the refs put the whistles away when they can. It feels like.
Yeah. So unlike the Wild game where both teams just like pound the living crap out of each other, I expect this to be more of a skilled type game series, if you will. So I don't think there's going to be as many penalty minutes, but it is going to be interesting to see how it plays out for both teams.
Right. And for Colorado, Darcy Kemper, their goalie, he took a stick through his mask, hit his right eye. It swelled up and he missed game 4. Looks like he's going to be good to go for the series against the Blues. It's actually the second time in his career he's taken a stick through his mask to hit his eye. Crazy enough. But shouldn't be an issue in this series. We'll keep an eye on it just in case, no pun intended. But shouldn't be an issue there. For Colorado, the big names. You look at Nathan MacKinnon, 5 goals in 4 games against Nashville. And then you look at Mikko Rantanen, the leading scorer for Colorado in the regular season, 92 points. And really, those are the 2 big names if you're looking to slow down the high-powered Colorado offense.
Yeah, I'm looking for with Kemper's eye injury. Actually, I'd be looking for the Blues to crash the net a lot and get a lot of traffic right in front of them. Maybe make him nervous because you got to wonder after taking a stick to the eye like that if the
goalie's happened twice, especially.
Yeah, he might get a little jumpy and loosen up a little and might have some open holes because of that. So it's going to be something to keep a close eye on, at least in the first game or two, to see if like he's affected at all.
Yeah. Now for the Blues, we mentioned Krug. Aside from him, should be pretty healthy, good to go. It'll be interesting to see just how healthy the Blues defensemen are, and if they decide to go with the 7 defenseman rotation, or if they go back to 6.
Yeah, true. And credit to Berube for making the adjustments needed. After the 2 losses in a row, the team just looked awful. They couldn't get any offense going. Everything was pushed to the outside. And for whatever they did, they made some great adjustments, and it carried them through the rest of the series. With his playoff knowledge and his just hockey knowledge and adjustments that he can make on the fly and the way the team responds to it, I feel like the Blues have a good chance of not only putting up a great fight, but frustrating the Avalanche.
Yeah, I think, it's going to be a very intense series. I think there's going to be a lot of high level hockey. We hinted at it. I think there's going to be a lot of skill type of hockey. I don't think it's going to be hits left and right. It's a different team than the Blues team that won the Stanley Cup in 2019. It's more skill and scoring and just not as much grinding you down as Blues fans might be used to over the past few years. Looking into this series for predictions, David, I'll start with this. The Blues are a very good team, and they're playing well. But my pick is it's just about Colorado. I think Colorado is that good. I'm going to go with Colorado in 5. That has nothing to do with the Blues. That's just how highly I think of Colorado. I think the Blues will be game. I just think they're going to be just that much behind Colorado. A little bit how Minnesota was just that much behind St. Louis throughout the regular season and during the first round.
Meanwhile, I'm going the other direction actually, and I look at it like what was it? Back when Pronger was with the team and the Blues won the President's Cup, kind of the same thing. I mean, just because you have all those wins doesn't mean you're going to win a playoff series. So I'm calling Blues in 6, and I think Torrey Krug, or not Torrey, excuse me. I think Jordan Kyrou is going to have a heyday with the speed, because now you're talking more skill. You're talking more of him, and he started really coming on towards the end of the series against the Wild. I think not only he, but Tarasenko and those guys are really going to open up the scoring for the Blues, and you're going to really see the depth of the Blues. What is it? 9 20-goal scorers? Yeah. So, and with the depth of our defense, especially shown against the Wild with the other guys who were called up and showing ability in the playoffs, I think the Blues are going to have the upper hand just straight off depth and everything else. It's going to be a fun series to watch, and I have the Blues in 6. Let's hope that happens. Anyway, thank you for watching Under the Arc Sports. Hopefully we get to do another preview.